greatest hero of the Hyperborean era was not a Hyperborean, but a barbarian, Conan, the Cimmerian, with whose name entire cycles of legends are associated. Conan's veins were filled with the blood of ancient Atlantis, which had been swallowed by the seas. Thousands of years ago, he was born into a clan that claimed lands in the northwest of Cimmeria. Conan himself was born on the battlefield during a battle between his tribe and a horde of van horsemen.
He was known as a fighter around the council fires before he saw his 15th winter. That year, the Cimmerian tribes forgot their blood feuds and joined forces to repel the attack of the Gundarians, who had crossed the borders of Aquilonia, built a border post in Venarium, and began colonizing the southern border regions of Cimmeria. Conan was one of the howling bloodthirsty horde that stormed with sword and torch and drove the Aquilines back beyond their borders.
After the sack of the Aquilonian outpost, Conan returned to his tribe for a time. Restless, driven by his youth, his traditions, and his time, he spent several months with a band of Aesir on a fruitless campaign against the Vanir and the Hyperboreans. The last campaign ended with Conan, still only 16 years old, in chains. However, he did not remain a prisoner for long.
Despite the fact that he was a pure-blooded Cimmerian, he was one of the band of Asiatic horsemen who plagued the Hyperborean borders. The thin, straw-haired warriors of that gloomy land trapped and defeated the horsemen, and for the first time in his life, Conan experienced the bitterness of chains and the lash, which was normal for most slaves. However, he did not remain a slave for long. Working at night, when the others were asleep, he filed one link of his chain until it was weak enough to be broken. Then, during a terrible downpour, he gave a sudden jerk and tore it. Unwinding the 4-foot heavy chain, he killed his overseer. The rain that hid him from view also prevented the dogs of the pursuit sent after him from picking up his trail. He fled southward, into the wild mountainous country that separated the northern frontier regions of Hyperborea from the fertile plains of Britain and the Turanian steppes. There, somewhere, to the south, he had heard, lay the fabulous kingdom of Zamora. And now the wolves had smelled him. It was the end of winter, and the wolves, hungry after a bad season, were ready to take any desperate step. The first time they caught up with him, Conan wielded his chain with such fury that one of the greys was left howling and writhing in pain on the snow, with a broken back, and the other with a shattered head. At sunset, they caught up with him on the ice of a frozen river near the borders of Britain. He fought them on the slippery ice, brandishing a bloody chain, until a bald wolf clamped its ominous jaws around the iron links of the chain, pulling it from his numb hands. At that moment, the thawing ice cracked. Several wolves fell with him, but Conan would never know how many managed to escape and how many were swept away by the fast-flowing river. He crawled out onto the ice on the other side, leaving the howling pack behind. All night and all day he had been running south through the tree-covered hills, half naked, half frozen. And now the wolves had caught up with him again. Through the white blur of swirling snow, the young man saw a gaping blackness between two mighty pieces of rock, and he rushed there. He squeezed through the opening just as the nearest wolf leaped at him. The wolf's jaws snapped in the air, and Conan was saved. Conan moved in the darkness, feeling the rough stone floor, and waiting for another vague object to appear for him to fight. He could hear them padding softly through the fresh snow outside, their claws scraping against the stone. Like him, they were breathing heavily. They were whining pitifully, eager for blood. But none of them appeared in the doorway, a vague gray shape against the blackness. It was strange. Conan realized that he was in a narrow room carved out of the rock, absolutely black except for the dim light of dusk filtering through the gorge. As he groped on, his searching fingers found the chisel marks on the stone, forming the signs of an unknown script. Some feeling warned him that he was not alone in this room. He could not see, hear, or smell anything, but there was a sense of presence unlike any other. Piece of wood scratched his skin, adding another cut to those left by the spruce needles and the wolf's claws. Conan's searching hands came across something cold and metallic. The wheels were shattered, the spokes rotten, so that the chariot itself lay on the floor amidst the fragments of spokes and rim. He found a stone that gave a bright shower of sparks when struck against iron. Soon he had a small, smoky, and hissing fire, into which he threw the broken crossbars of the chair and the pieces of the chariot wheels. Now he could relax, rest from his terrible run across the country, and warm his stiff body. Suddenly, Conan's hair stood on end and he began to shiver violently. In the far corner of the room, a large stone chair was occupied by a huge figure of a naked man with a naked sword resting on his lap. Who was this dead man? A warrior of ancient times, some great leader who was feared in life and placed on the throne after death. No one can answer these questions. Hundreds of nations have roamed and ruled these mountainous lands since Atlantis sank into the emerald waves of the Western Ocean 8,000 years ago. Based on his helmet, the dead man could have been the leader of the Van or the Az, or a primitive king of some forgotten. The tribe of the Hyperboreans, long since vanished in the shadows of time and buried under the dust of the ages. Conan's gaze fell on the huge sword lying on the bony thighs of the corpse. It must have been one of the first iron weapons made by human hands. The legends of Conan's compatriots recalled the days when people hacked and stabbed with reddish bronze, and the production of iron was unknown. Conan took the blade. It was heavy as lead, a sword of ancient times. Perhaps some legendary king's heroes of antiquity had worn it. For example, the demigod Kull of Atlantis, king of Volusia, who reigned in those ages when Atlantis had not yet sunk into the troubled sea. With a sword like this, even a half-naked young barbarian from the wilderness of Cimmeria can carve his way through this world, ford rivers of blood and take his place among the greatest rulers, lands. Oh, gods, what a sword! With such a blade, no gift of fate will be too rich for a warrior who aspires to it. Looked and felt his heart stop. The hair rose on his head and the blood froze in his veins. All his superstitious fears and childhood nightmares rose with a howl, filling his mind with shadows of madness and horror, because the dead man was alive. As soon as the eyeless gaze stopped on the sword in Conan's hand, gloomy witch lights flashed in the empty eye sockets. A terrible wound that would have stopped any living warrior did not even slow the movements of the corpse. He just pulled the stump away and reached out with the other hand. How can you kill something that is already dead? This question echoed in Conan's mind. It came back again and again, and Conan thought he would go mad from this endless repetition. His blows became much more skillful. Realizing that if the dead man could not move, he could not pursue him, Conan delivered a brutal blow to the mummy's knees. The bones cracked, and the mummy collapsed, writhing on the dusty, carved floor. However, an unnatural life burned within its withered chest. The mummy staggered to its feet and, leaning heavily, followed the young man, dragging its injured leg behind it. Suddenly, something grabbed his ankle. He looked down and saw that the severed hand of the corpse was gripping his leg. Conan reacted instinctively. With all his might, he kicked the shriveled belly of the dead man leaning over him, flying into the air. The dead man crashed down behind him, right into the fire. But the battle was over. In a minute, the mummy was completely destroyed, leaving only a few burning embers and blackened bones. The magnificent sword was now his. He gripped it again, feeling its weight and power. The smoke-filled room was foul, not only from the dust of centuries, but from the burning of long-dead human flesh, a strange smell that made him feel disgusted. A moment later, dressed in an old fur cloak, he slipped out of the cave. There was no sign of the wolves. One look up and it was clear that the sky had cleared. Conan studied the stars that shone between the shreds of clouds and headed south again. There, somewhere in the south, lay the fairy tale kingdom of Samurai, with its black-haired women and towers full of secrets of the spider gods. There stood famous cities, the capital Shadizar, called the City of Evil, the Thieves' City, Arizhan and Yezid, the city of the spider god.